Hit up Rose NBA on Twitter. If you need any sort of grind, he will be the man for you. Domination, Spotlight Sims, MyTEAM Unlimited, and even more. The link to his Twitter will be down below in the description. Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty, back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be talking about something that is just for basically entertainment purposes only. But 2K did release information about how Space Jam content is going to be coming to NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So it kind of got me thinking, how would these Looney Tunes players, like how would Daffy Duck be if he was in 2K? That just kind of got me thinking, would these players be usable if we got a Daffy Duck invincible card? Would he be good? You know, what about Tweety Bird? You know, would these cards be okay in the game, or would they struggle a little bit? So we're going to be breaking down each of these characters, and we're going to be kind of talking about who they are compared to, some things that they got going for them, and how they would play in the game. Now, shout out to the post game. The link to this website will be down below in the description, because I was trying to gather all my information to put this video together. This website came about, and it does a perfect job of what I was honestly trying to do. So shout out to the post game for making this video possible. So the first player we are going to talk about is Bugs Bunny. Now, this website does compare Bugs Bunny to Dwayne Wade, and we'll talk about that later. But Bugs, listen, man, Bugs did whatever it took to win, right? As you guys can read, they typed up a little bit. Bugs is a natural leader who understands how to share the spotlight. Although he is de facto captain before Michael Jordan's arrival, Bugs knows how important it is to really let Michael Jordan do his thing like Wade during James' Heat years. This star shooting guard embraces the number 2 option. Now, here's the thing about Bugs. Here's the thing, okay? He's only 3'3". Now, with his ears, 4'10", okay? So, you know, maybe that's going to be one of the tallest players we see. So, my thing is this, right? He's fast. He can play some defense. Bugs is a decent passer, so he can really do it all on the basketball court and is pretty solid, right? The number 2 option, the best of all of these characters, and probably one of the tallest players as well. I mean, obviously, Dwayne Wade in 2K is not a very good comparison because the dude is going to be 4'10", but let's say they gassed speed, right? Let's say they gassed his speed to like 150. Would a 4'10" card be usable if he was pretty good? I don't know. That's something I probably never know the answer to, but just know if Bugs was in 2K, he would be absolutely solid. The next card we're going to look at is the Tasmanian Devil. Now, just look at this clip. Look at him, man. Y'all see him? He's everywhere. Like, imagine if he was brought into 2K, how hard he would be to guard. Like, even if we had a challenge to, you know, get a free pack, right, and we had to beat this dude, he is too fast. Yes, as sometimes he can get out of control. And the comparison is Brandon Jennings here. He says he's a spark plug in the backcourt, and you just never know what you're going to get out of it. Now, Brandon Jennings, yes, we know how Brandon Jennings' NBA career went, but I'm just saying, Tasmanian Devil, the problem with him is he's only 2'4". 2'4"? Imagine a 2'4" guy running around in 2K. That's hard for me to even imagine, but the dude is quick and probably going to be one of the quickest dudes that we talk about today. Lola Bunny is up next. I don't really like this comparison with DeMar DeRozan. I don't like this comparison, and I'll talk about why here, but you guys can see in this clip, Lola is dunking the ball. Now, we'll just read this first, then I'll go over my opinion. DeRozan, Lola is a lanky swing man, swing woman who can score in bunches. However, if placed in the presence of an all-star team, both players can adjust, share the ball, and commit to defense. Okay, that's fine. But Lola can handle the rock, man. I get it, she's a small forward, but she can handle the rock. That's something you can't overlook with Lola. So if she was brought into 2K, yes, Lola is only 3'2". That is a problem, but she can handle the rock. She can really do it all, score at different levels if the comparison's to DeMar DeRozan, but it's best placed with some other stars. So Lola is obviously very incredible, and I think if she was on her own, she would be fine as well. Because in the clip, in the tryouts, right, she did her thing. So Lola is one of the best players we're going to talk about today. It's just tough with her height. Again, another comparison I don't really love is the Tweety Bird Ty Lue comparison here. Okay, as you guys can see Tweety in this video doing doing his thing. But the problem is he's tiny. Okay, he's tiny. Yes, he can fly, right, which is absolutely incredible. And you can just read here, strong personality. Tweety wants to play, but he's not as skilled as the main players in the rotation. Born to motivate and serves as a positive voice in the Toon Squad, on the Toon Squad bench. So quite honestly, the way Tweety reminds me of, if you guys have watched the finals, is the Thanasis Antetokounmpo, right? A strong personality, a motivator, but just not quite as skilled as the main players in the rotation. That's who Tweety Bird reminds me of. Quite honestly, you can see it. Maybe 1 feet tall, not even that. So obviously, if that was in 2K, right, it would just be a struggle to run Tweety Bird. Now, one of my favorite comparisons here is Daffy Duck compared to Swaggy P Nick Young. I absolutely love this. Now, Daffy is at the power forward position, but here's the thing. The reason he's compared to Swaggy P is like it says. Daffy does have some skills. Don't get it twisted. But Daffy thinks he's the best. Like, he just does. He's also overly high on his comedy. Daffy is fun to root for, but no team should run an offense through him. So Swaggy P, I like Swaggy P, but he shouldn't be your best player. And that's Daffy Duck right there. Now, one thing about Daffy Duck is he is extremely fast. So all these players who are not the tallest are all going to be decently fast. And if he was brought to 2K, he'd be one of the best because of his height, versatility. But, I mean, if you look at his confidence level, it's going to be way higher than it should be. Sylvester compares it to Lance Stevenson here. And if you're wondering why, well, he has the talent. Like, Sylvester is not bad to be a two-way player, but he spends too much time feuding with his teammates, notably Tweety, right? And that's the thing. Sylvester could be better than he is, but his mind necessarily is not always there. Lance Stevenson, right? He likes to put on a show is the best way I could say it. And he's not always, you know, on the same page as his teammates. And it's the same thing with Sylvester. Sylvester's more worried about, you know, having fun with Tweety or, you know, not necessarily getting along than basketball. So if you look at it 2K, right, he'd be the type of dude not getting the ball and they're just going to go sit on the bench, right? He'd be the dude to get excessive call for passes, that type of thing if you do play my career. In 2K, I don't know how Sylvester would be. He might be like a Lance, right? In 2K, he'd be better than he was in real life. Now, one of the funniest comparisons here is Foghorn Leghorn to Andrea Bargnani. Now, the comparison here is one I absolutely love. Now, Foghorn is 5'2", 315. The dude is he's a big dude. Now, with that being said, Foghorn Leghorn, he's built like a tank. He is, okay? He's a big dude, but he refuses to use it, right? I mean, if you're that big, you should have the best chance against the Monstars. And these two soft players are liabilities in the front court. Foghorn to Bargnani. I mean, if you look at Bargnani, he was 7 feet tall. He just never really, I don't know, he never really maximized how good he could be. And in my opinion, that's a good comparison to my man's Foghorn. Now you get Sniffles compared to Tyler Ulis here. And that's the thing, right? Sniffles, like Tweety and Tyler, Sniffles and Ulis are undersized. A lot of these players are undersized, but when you're looking at Sniffles, he is undersized. He does have a good attitude as he wants to play, but he's tiny, right? It's just not going to happen. I don't necessarily know about the Tyler Ulis comparison because this was obviously a few years ago when Ulis was a little bit younger, and they said he still has potential, but I don't mind this comparison right here. Sniffles in 2K would be one of the absolute worst things I'd ever seen. Here we get one, Porky Pig and Raymond Felton, and you guys can see Porky Pig right here, man. Look, Porky, you need a membership to a workout place. We'll get that for you. I'm not trying to disrespect Raymond, but he kind of looked like Porky Pig in a way, right? He just did. Porky provides solid depth in the 2 squad backcourt. It's hard to ignore Porky as a bit more girth than the average player. Porky and Felton can be more physical than other guards. They give up some speed. They definitely do. Both are also good ball handlers. So that's just something to kind of think about, right? With Porky, right? He doesn't really look like he knows what's going on in this clip here, but he's just big, right? Maybe he would be able to battle in 2K because of his size, because he's able to guard and be more physical. But he's what? 2 feet tall. Porky Pig is not going to do any good on the basketball court. This is the only clip I really, even when I was doing my research, watching videos, this is the Kyle, right? He blows up what's going on here just to do what it takes for the Toon squad to win. Similar to Draymond Green. Draymond Green has that fiery personality that's going to do whatever it takes to win. And you read in the description, he'll do anything to stop the opposition from scoring, even if it means obviously lining the rim with dynamite. Green operates with that same school of thought, going as far as to use his foot on an opposition's groin, which did indeed happen. And that's what I'm saying. Their competitors are going to do whatever it takes to win, and it's not always the nicest or best way to go about things. Now, Elmer Fudd compared to J.R. Smith. Now, I'll say it. Elmer, you know, I don't know about this comparison necessarily, but you look at it, he takes a lot of shots at the hoops and at Bugs Bunny, although he is isn't always accurate. So, J.R., he's a hook, man. If you watch J.R., especially, you know, when he was just throughout his career, and especially in his younger days, he definitely had hops. But JR has always loved to shoot the ball. It's something about him, he's just always loved to shoot the ball. So in 2K, you know, he's going to have that shot tendency at 100 from 3, from anywhere. And, you know, he's the type of dude that if you had to do a challenge against these dudes, you just leave him wide open from 3. Let the dude shoot the ball as much as you want. Now, I wouldn't do that with J.R. Smith, but with Elmer, I definitely would. The next dude we're going to talk about today is Yosemite Sam compared to the Birdman himself, Chris Anderson. And you guys can see this is like the only clip we got from him. Both are feared defenders with bushy facial hair. Now, we're not going to spend a ton of time talking about this dude, but imagine loading up 2K and you see him. I would be stunned. I would absolutely be stunned. I mean, you would drop him off. Now, the granny compared to James Jones, I don't like. This is old, obviously. So this is old. Now, the comparison, when you can see it, well past her prime. Granny is just along for the ride at this point. Of course, she still gets to taste victory when the Toon Squad wins. Jones, who has played with LeBron James every year since then, just won his 3rd ring in his 6th straight NBA Finals appearance. So this was obviously a few years ago. Who I compare Granny to is Udonis Haslem, right? Udonis is always on the bench, a positive influence, and is just at this point along for the ride. That's quite honestly what he is there for. Now, he did in his younger days have some of those, you know, have some moments just like Granny, but now just sits on the bench and is a positive influence. Now, Pepe Le Pew is Rudy Gobert, and the only really comparison you can draw here is that Gobert is a Frenchman. Now, Pepe doesn't necessarily smell the best, as you guys can see, and they're not necessarily saying that Gobert does, but we'll say, you know, who knows? You just never know, right? You never know, obviously, but this comparison is drawn for one reason, because they are both originated from France. Now, one of the funniest things here is the Roadrunner compared to Rondo. Now, here you can see the Roadrunner is just dribbling all over the place. Super fast, literally all over the place, has insane speed, literally insane handles. But here's the thing. He can't shoot the ball. Imagine trying to shoot the ball if you don't even have arms. I mean, what are you going to do? Now, Rondo is that, especially in Rondo's prime. He was all over the court, had insane handles, but as you guys can see, he shot a career. This is obviously older, 29% from the three-point line. I'd be surprised to see if it was anything more than that now. So an inconsistent shooter, but incredible, especially in his prime, at just handling the ball, and his speed was just absolutely ridiculous. So the Roadrunner would be the type of dude that's tough to guard, but again, you just try to keep him in front and just you sit paint on him, right? You just sit paint on him, let you dribble all around the court, but you got to show me your shot a little bit from 3. Now, Marvin the Martian here is compared to Danny Crawford. This is the ref of the time. Now, obviously, you guys can see, if we had him as a ref, he'd be about 1 foot tall. So he's tiny, but he has a level-headed personality who has the respect of MJ, keeps the game flowing, and it's some big circumstances, as it does say. And a lot of people think that my man's missed a lot of calls, but Danny Crawford's not perfect either, right? He's reffed a ton of basketball, or at least he did throughout his career. You got the Toon Squad versus the Monstars, so it's just not necessarily the easiest game to officiate. If we saw these guys in 2K, okay, let's say if that happened, some of these players, actually none of these players really would be usable. Now, it would be interesting, like how would they make the Tasmanian Devil? Like, would they just make him fly around the court like this, right? Imagine trying to guard a dude like that, or even, you know, Bugs Bunny, who's obviously very good. How would they make him in 2K? I mean, he's still not going to be over 5 feet tall, so it's just tough. But if we saw these guys in challenges, that would be something. It would be just interesting. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But even if we saw them in a challenge game, it would just, I think it'd be kind of fun to see how 2K would make each and every one of these players. But it's just interesting. With the Space Jam content, it got me thinking, what would each of these cards be like in 2K? And this is kind of and the fact that this website came up with comparisons is a massive W, because I was trying to put this together, thinking of stuff, thinking of what, you know, who to compare them to, what they would be like in 2K. And this did a perfect job. Now, obviously in 2K, Bugs Bunny's not going to be Dwayne Wade with base 98, but how would he compare? Like, what's his personality like? And that's where we get the Dwayne Wade from. But that is going to wrap it up for the video. Again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take this too literally, guys. I just had fun researching some of these and thinking, you know, who would Lola Bunny be like in 2K? Not DeMar DeRozan, because she has insane handles. That's probably her best attribute. Again, Tweety Bird could fly. Imagine in 2K if we got somebody that could just fly everywhere. That would be absolutely insane. So it just got me thinking on, you know, with the Toon Squad, what 2K could do. But that is going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.
That's all, folks.